he has a tooth problem, so he'll speak in between, but he's sitting beside me only. So he'll give you, whenever required, he'll interrupt. Then Pavan, who's our maths faculty, will be joining in some time. He's stuck somewhere. And yeah, I think Frenil and Frenil, who teaches economics, as well as Satyaragu, who's taught portions of accounting. Both of them are currently unavailable. If possible, they said they will join, but they will not be present in the session. But the rest of the faculty are available, and I think that we'll be able to clarify most of your doubts, queries, or anything that you might have. Okay, so let's start off the session. So guys, welcome. Sorry, students, you have to please mute yourself. Let me finish talking, and then you can unmute, and we'll give you a chance to speak. Kanchoju Devi, I think it's your. No, it's somebody else. Please mute, guys. Okay. Kanchoju Devi, please mute. Please mute. Okay, great. Finally, they've muted. So guys, welcome all of you. And this session is for students who are appearing for May 22 examinations of CA Foundation. So I'm sure all of you are writing it for the first time. Some of you are in class 12 and some of you might have finished class 12. So probably different people at different stages. But nevertheless, all of you are going to be writing for the first time, most likely in May 22. So first up, before we discuss anything else, I just want to highlight to you guys certain facts. One, CA examinations are slightly unlike your class 12 examinations or anything that you would have done earlier, in the sense that they're more competitive, and you have subjects which are a mix of both theory or subjective stuff where you have to actually write versus you have MCQs. So if you are not aware, just to highlight to you, papers 1 and 2 are subjective papers. That is, you have to write with your hand for 3 hours, and paper 3 and 4 are objective. That is multiple choice question, bubble sheets. You have to fill the bubble sheets. Basically, your mathematics and statistics and logical reasoning, as well as your business and commercial knowledge and business economics. These papers are your objective papers. Right. So there is a slight difference in the way that you are tested. And also note, you have negative markings for papers 3 and 4. So you cannot randomly mark everything and walk out of the exam hall thinking you've done great. You have to be very careful in what you write. So that is another one. And you also get only 120 minutes for paper 3 and 4. 120 minutes, 2 hours to attempt 100 questions. Okay, so you have to be fast, you have to be quick, and you don't get any additional pages and all. So you have to work around with the limited space that you have. Whereas for papers 1 and 2, obviously you'll have a lot of answer sheets and all of that. So, and they are 3 hours papers. You get 15 minutes extra time also at the beginning of the session to go through the question paper. So you have to make use of that. That 15 minutes extra time is not available for you for paper 3 and 4. Maths and economics and BCK. Okay, so it is not available for those papers. It is available for accounting as well as business law and business correspondence and reporting. Right. So now with that context set in mind, let us start off the session. Let me dive deeper into what I want to actually communicate here, or rather we at Team Indigo Learn want to communicate here to you. So guys, one thing you have to notice, this is slightly different from what your class 12 examinations are going to be. There may be a lot of common topics, but the way you're tested here and the way you'll be asked questions are going to be slightly different. Having said that, also please note that you are at the CA foundation level. So foundation level, the knowledge that is expected from you is basics. Your foundations have to be strong. So please work on those aspects. Right. And second thing is, you're not expected to do a PhD in accounting or economics or any subject at this level. You're expected to understand. Okay. So please note that aspect also. And the third thing is, please don't think that, maths is tough or, accounts is tough or law is tough, because all three are going to continue with you for the next 4 years or 5 years when you're going to pursue CA. Okay. And even in fact, honestly speaking, BCR, BCK, economics, all of them are going to be very, very valid and relevant for you as you pursue your CA foundation, CA inter as well as CA final. Okay. So you can't think that, I finished, law here, then, law is not there anywhere, or maths is over here and all that. Please note, I teach logical reasoning for CA Foundation, and I also teach SFM for CA Final. There are a lot of concepts of CA Foundation, mathematics and statistics, right from integration, differentiation to logarithms, and that I have to recap when I'm teaching SFM for CA Final. Okay, so please don't think that any of the things that you're learning here are irrelevant. None of them are irrelevant. Everything is relevant. Okay, and for students who are writing this for the first time, please note there are a couple of chapters that have been removed in mathematics, statistics, and logical reasoning. Those content have already been removed in the new study material. They have been also removed from our courses or our videos, syllogism, then matrices, and a couple of stuff like that. So they've already been removed. If you're not aware, please be aware, because some of you might have purchased your CA Foundation books or ordered your books earlier from the institute, and those chapters might be there. So please check for that notification. You'll be aware that those topics are no longer applicable from November 21 examinations onwards. Okay, now coming to the main part of what I actually want to communicate in this session. So students, one thing that you have to note with respect to CA examinations is the way you prepare. CA examinations are 99% hard work and only 1% smart work. Okay, so that 1% smart work is very, very essential. We are here to guide you both on hard work as well as smart work. What I mean by smart work, we'll come to it as we speak. Now, with respect, I will go paper by paper, and then I will hand over the session to the respective faculty. So first come accounting. So in accounting, right, as I said, you are expected to have basic knowledge. You're not expected to do a PhD, but at the same time, there are certain things that you have to understand very well. A lot of students, if you look at our forums, right, where we get questions from students, a lot of queries are with respect to your BRS or rectification of errors or consignment, things like that. So those are the topics that you have to, concentrate on. And when I say concentrate on, I'm not saying that others are irrelevant. I'm saying these are the ones where we get maximum doubts from the students. So if you're able to understand them very well, you're cut above the others. I mean, in the sense that you'll be able to move faster, right? That is one part. Second part is theory is important for accounting, but it is not at the cost of practical aspects of accounting. So when you're studying for a specific subject, let's say when you start a topic, please also go through the theory. But at the same time, don't try and pour over theories, so deep that you're actually missing out on what is the practical aspect or practical element of it, right? So give weightage to theory, but not more than practical. Okay, that is one thing that we want to highlight. Then, specifically with respect to accounting, please don't watch accounting like you're watching a Netflix series or you're watching an Amazon Prime series, okay, or whatever series, your Hotstar or Zee or whatever you guys watch, or YouTube. This is not a watching session, okay? Because it is online class does not mean that you get to aram se sleep on your bed and listen to this, okay? You have to sit on a table, have a pen and paper in front of you and solve. In fact, most of the times faculty, Satyaraghu or even Suraj, they very, very specifically say, when they actually say this in the class, please pause the video and solve the problem on your own. They are not saying this just for the heck of it. They are saying it so that you pause the video. So please pause the video. If you are taking these classes from any other faculty or any other online session and you've joined us, even then, if those faculty have not mentioned it to you, please make a note. After the faculty solves one or two problems, every subsequent problem you have to solve on your own. Otherwise, you will not learn. Okay, and CA being a course which is a distance course, you have to put in all the more effort that you understand. That is when you will be able to make the most of the course. Okay, that is another part. Now coming to second paper, business law and BCR. I will let the faculty speak, but I just have one or two small points which I want to communicate there. You are studying law for the first time, and some of you might have studied earlier in class 12, 11, 12, depending on which state board you are from or things like that. But typically, in most of the parts of the country, people don't study law in class 11 and 12. So you have to pay extra attention. But at the same time, don't go so deep into the law that you want to become a lawyer. This is a CA course, not a lawyer course. Okay, so you don't think of remembering sections, remembering case studies and all of that. You have to know them. If you read them multiple times, you will understand. The faculty, both the faculty are present here, they will tell you more about law. Okay, next, coming to the third subject is mathematics, LR and statistics. Some of you might have been under the impression that, I am a student bad at maths and hence I've chosen commerce and hence now I'll become a CA. Unfortunately, I don't think that is a right way to approach it. Maths is not really tough if you put your mind to it. At the same time, we're not doing again a PhD in math here. So you still need to know basic maths so that you're able to understand the concepts at advanced level in CA inter and final. So to that extent, you need to learn maths, and there is no alternative to maths other than sitting and solving problems. And please note here, friends, I have taught LR in foundation. Pavan will probably join in some time to start. He's joined. Okay, so he's joined already. We'll be adding him to the, we'll be pinning him to the, session. So he will take you through maths and stats elements. But please note, we have solved every single problem that is there in the material is part of our course. So we have solved them in videos for certain problems, whereas certain problems we have given you PDFs. So you can actually look at the solutions and you can correct what your answer is. Now, our purpose of giving you the solutions is not for you to scan them like you're reading a novel. Please, please, please. Whatever we have given you is not for the purpose of you to go through. It is for you to solve the problems and check for correctness of answers. Okay, and for BCR and for business law, we have also, and for mathematics, we have also given MCQs on our app. So please open our app as well as website and go through all the MCQs, because eventually in the examination, you are going to be tested in the MCQ form. Every time you finish a chapter, please go and solve the MCQs. After you finish a significant amount of the portion, please go and take comprehensive tests. We have hundreds, thousands of questions on our app and website. Please make best use of them. Okay, this is as far as math, stats, and LR are concerned. And one small point with respect to LR, believe me, LR is cool, easy 20 marks. Okay, amongst everything, if you ask me in CA Foundation, what is the easiest subject or easiest topic to score with least amount of effort is logical reasoning. That is my opinion, because I don't think it is because I teach. Even otherwise, believe me, you actually don't require any major preparation for that. You just go through the few hours of videos what you have, you'll be through. Then finally, coming to business and commercial knowledge and business economics. Now, business economics, most of you would have taken commerce in class 11, 12. You'll be very, very aware of what economic concepts are. This is an extension of that. But at the same time, we go far deeper. And because you're asked in MCQ form, you're tested in MCQ form, the concepts are slightly deeper. So you have to understand the concept very well. And these are theory subjects. So the key to theory subject is reading multiple times. It is not sitting and one shot and I will finish all 20 hours or 30 hours. No, it will never work. No theory subject. See, I see all the faculty smiling when I say this. Theory subjects you can never study in 20 hours or 30 hours. You have to do repetitively. You have to make your own short notes. You have to go through the short notes and you have to revise them. Right. And as far as BCK is concerned, same logic. BCK is something, if you already, are into reading business books or reading business newspapers or follow, in shorts or, whatever you do with respect to business, believe me, it will become far more easier. Otherwise, it looked like, again, Greek and Latin. It looked like, we're teaching something else. So you have to be, see, as a CA, you're expected to know a lot of things. You're expected to know accounting, you're expected to know law, you're expected to know finance, you're expected to know costing, you're expected to know income tax, GST, all of this will come in inter and final level. But the base for all of that is your foundation level. So if you understand this, basic concepts of what are the business concepts and what are the commercial aspects, it will go a long way in helping you to become a complete professional. Okay, so these are the aspects I wanted to tell you with respect to the subjects. Now, just coming to the preparation part. See, in preparation part, one thing you have to notice, you have to start today. And you have roughly 7 months or so till your exams in May sometime. Most likely exams will be held in May 2nd week or 3rd week. If you get any days extra, it is a bonus, but please think of that, exams are going to be held in May 2nd week or so. So you have 7 months time. If you look at our course, it is hardly 230 or 240 hours. It is easily possible to finish the entire course and do at least 2 revisions. Okay, at CA Foundation level, even though you don't have a rank, the quality of your score in CA Foundation will give you confidence for CA Inter. So please note that, if you're just preparing that, somehow I will get a mark and all that, please don't have that attitude. Please work to get a number that is higher than 300 or 320 or 330, something like that. Have a target and work. And for that to happen, you have to study every day, minimum 3 to 6 hours. I know you guys have school, you guys have college, junior college. I am fully aware of that. Even then, you have to study a minimum of 3 to 6 hours. Depends on, initially start with 3 hours, slowly scale it up to 6 hours. Only then you'll be able to finish your entire portion by February mid. After you finish your portion in February mid, next 2 months you have to sit and revise. Okay, you have to write at least 2 to 3 mock tests. You have to go through last 3 years, suggested answers. You have to go through last 3 years papers. All of that you can do only if you finish your syllabus, basic syllabus by February 14th or February 15th. Okay, you have to finish everything by Valentine's Day. Okay, so please have that as a target and start working on it. Okay, that is another part. And if you want to check how to plan, how to schedule, what to do with this, we have a wonderful application on our app as well as our website, which is called Study Planner. I'll just share my screen and then show it to you what our Study Planner is. Can you enable me to host so I can share the screen? Just one sec, I'm sharing my screen so that you guys can see the Study Planner. 1 second. So I'm sharing my screen. Right, I trust you guys are able to see my screen. So you can go to our website, click on something called as your dashboard. There you'll see something called a Study Planner. Click on the Study Planner, then it'll ask you to choose your course and level. So you select that, then you select the start date. I am pretty sure most of you would have already started preparation. It doesn't matter. You select a date and select an end date for April 30th. Okay, you have to finish everything by April 30th. And let me say I study for 6 hours a day. And include, we have an option whether you want to study on Sundays, don't want to study on Sundays, that's up to you. And then select CA Foundation full course. And I'm pretty sure most of you are first timers, so select first time and then select some broad revision dates. And all you have to do is click the Study Planner and your Study Planner is ready. It will show you a month-wise view. So on which day, what times you have to study. Right, it will show you slot wise. This slot 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. This is what you're supposed to do. And moment you do it, you can select it and say I've completed. So it gets the color changes to green. Right. So like this, you can do stuff and we can plan it for months together. And you see what is the plan? How does the plan look? If you look at my screen, November, December. So if you study 6 hours a day, the entire course will get completed by 21st of December. But some of you, it may not be possible. So you can, reset the plan for 3 hours a day for, some kind of customization you can do and you can plan yourself out. See, guys, the reason why we have given a Study Planner is because as you move into CA Inter and CA Final, this becomes extremely critical. There are so many students who reach out saying to us that, there are 8 subjects we're not able to figure out how to plan, how to schedule and all of that. If you start it from foundation level, believe me, it will become super simple. And you guys have to necessarily take mock test because you are not, as I said, it's not your class 11, class 12 exam. By the time you enter the CA exam hall, you should not be clueless. You should have written these tests. Okay, you should write and play. Don't say I want chapter wise test, I want half test, all of that. In the exam, you're not tested chapter wise, you're tested comprehensively. And the problem with by doing chapter wise test and evaluating yourself, I know I'm great and all of that, is that when they give you 100 questions eventually in the exam hall, let's say for mathematics and statistics, and those questions are going to be from, let us say, across all the chapters, you are tested 100 questions in 120 minutes. Okay, which is why it is important for you to be in the zone of that 120 minutes and test yourself. So 2 to 3 mock tests minimum you have to take. We give our own mock test. ICA gives out their mock test, 2 to 3 months before the examination. And ICA also gives an RTP. So you have to go through all of these, after you finish your preparation by 14th of February. Okay, so these are the points that I had with respect to your preparation. Finally, I just want to tell you something which is, examination feedback from examiners. Most common feedback for inter, final, and foundation from the people who evaluate your paper, right? Most common feedback is students don't have conceptual clarity, students are making silly mistakes, and students are not presenting well. So how to present your paper? We have an excellent session which is already uploaded on our course by BC for business law. We have it by our faculty Aslesha. She has taught that particular part. Same way how so, yeah.
Someone is scribbling on the thing. If you're not interested, you may please leave the session.
Yes. Okay. So the thing is, we have mute. So the thing is, we have excellent sessions by the faculty where they've explained how to write answers for subjects like business law, right? Similarly, how to solve papers faster for mathematics and statistics. We have solved mocks live. Okay, so we have done stuff like that. Please go through all of them. The next part which I wish to highlight is some of you maybe glued a lot to social media and all of that. So you have to ration your time when you're preparing. You have to be concentrated. You have to concentrate on the subject and on the course. So probably you should please ration your time and please have a plan. Please schedule it. When I say that you have 7 months, probably it appears the time is very long. But believe me, one Dashera, one Diwali, one Christmas, one New Year, one Sankranti. You celebrate each festival for 5 days, you have lost 2 months. Okay, so please don't think that you have a lot of time. You have to start preparation now if you have not already started. If you've already started, excellent, you're on the right way. Okay, so with this I will hand over the session to Sudha and Aslesha. Probably Aslesha first. She teaches business law, so she'll take you through aspects of business law, how you should study and how you should prepare for the exam and how you should attempt the exam, followed by Sudha, and then we'll have open session where you guys can ask us questions, right? Chalo, over to you, Aslesha.
Thank you, Sriram. So talking about business law, this is your paper 2. And the law is a subject like most of you would be studying for the first time. And since it is CA Foundation and forming a base for your CA course ahead, for your intermediate level as well as final level, and not only it is not only limited to that, it will be useful after you become a chartered accountant as well. You have different subjects and one of the subject is law. Now talking about law, I'll just take an example and explain you. Say if I ask you, you've seen a movie recently and I ask you what was the climax of that movie, you will be able to tell me quickly, instantly ki haan ma'am aisa hua tha. But if I ask you what is the section which defines contract, everyone would be blank. It wouldn't strike instantly. Now what is the reason for it? When you go to a movie, you are stress-free, cool, calm, composed, and looking at the movie. But when you're watching a video wherein we are explaining the things to you, you're not cool, calm, composed, but there's another level of stress in your mind, which is that how will I remember so many things? So first and foremost thing which you have to do is get away with the stress thing. The stress part should not be there when you are starting with the course. This is the first level. You're learning new things, and when we learn new things, there shall be zeal and enthusiasm in us, right? So learn new things with an intention to conceptually understand things. Also, one important point which I would like to highlight here is do not emphasize more on memorizing the section numbers or memorizing the provisions, or for even other subjects that I'll memorize these things and I'll go and write the paper. That is not how things are going to work. You have to understand the concept, what a particular provision says, why has it been implemented. So when we talk about preparation, when you start with your course, make sure that you are also doing revision on daily basis. Say, for example, you have started with Unit 1 today, and tomorrow you're going to start with another lesson. So tomorrow, when you're starting the other lesson, first revise Unit 1 and then go to the other lesson. And on the third day, when you're going to the third topic, on the third day, revise both the topics which you've done on the first 2 days and then go to the third topic. Now, what will happen with this? When you go to the last topic, you will already finish the revision of the first topics which you have been studying. So constant revision is very important. And revision is not only for subject law, you have to follow this practice to the other subjects as well. And say, for example, you have finished the course of law and you've gone to some other subject. Now, when you move to another subject, please do not leave the subject which you have already studied behind. Make sure you are in touch with the subject, because if you want to recollect things, it is important that you are in touch with the subject. So being in touch with the subject is very important. So constant revision, being in touch with subjects, these are some points which you should follow. Now talking about section numbers, section numbers are a part of your subject, and yes, they do play a very important role. But a question which is very often asked is that is it mandatory to write section numbers in exams? So let me tell you, if you remember the correct one, please quote it. It will add upon to your answer. But if you are not sure about the section number, please do not just think that what was the section number and waste your time there. If you're very sure, please quote it. If you're not sure, do not write the section number. And talking about how are you going to present your answers, so yes, it is a subject wherein there are some legal terms involved, and there are keywords which shall become a part of your answer. But it is not that you have to remember the provision word to word. It is not required. You can write things in your own words, but make sure that you are mentioning the keywords there. And what are the keywords? When you go through the course, you will automatically understand and what are the terms which should become a part of your answer. So first thing is that repetitive, or rather a good amount of revision is required. And also, if you want to remember the section numbers, if you are a person who wants to write every answer with the section number, one tip which I can give you here is make a list of the section numbers and go through them every day, so that you are able to remember the section numbers. But do this only if you have a lot of time, because you have other subjects also to complete. Now, talking about writing practice. So this is a descriptive paper, totally descriptive paper, no MCQ, no multiple choice questions. So for that, writing practice is very important. You will get two types of questions. One is a direct question, the other will be case study based questions, wherein you will be given a situation and you'll have to analyze the situation and write your answer. Now, for direct questions, you can write a direct answer. But for that direct answer also, it would be better if you present it in a point-wise form rather than a paragraph form. And talking about the case study based questions, wherein you will be given a situation and on the basis of that situation, you will have to write answer. So for that, what you have to do is you will have to analyze the situation, understand what the question is talking about, and based on that, write the provision related to the situation and give your conclusion. All this you will be able to do only and only when you are conceptually clear. So conceptually, someone's mic is, yeah. So all this you will be able to do only when you are conceptually clear. And also make sure that you revise things at least once a week. If you've moved on to another subject, please stay connected to the other subject, revise them at least once a week. Now, talking about questions, so you may get some lengthy questions, case study based questions may be lengthy. Now, what usually happens is students, they look at the question and they panic. And why does that happen? Because they think the question is so long, how will I be able to answer this question? Now, please understand, not everything in the question is important. You will have to know how to read the question and how to understand what information in the question is important, and that will happen only and only with practice. So solving mock test papers becomes a very important part. And when we say solve mock test papers, we mean that you give yourself that 3 hours of time and sit in exam conditions and solve mock test papers. Solving mock test paper cannot happen with the answer in front of you. So I've seen many people, they sit with the test paper, they have the book, they have the study material besides them. And when they get stuck at a place, they go to the study material and then write the answer. No, that is not going to help. When we say solve mock test papers, give yourself 3 hours of time, and in that, see how are you able to solve the mock test papers. And mock test papers, past question papers, revision test papers, all this will help you in your writing practice, and which will eventually make your exams easier, and you can go stress-free in exams. There'll be some amount of fear, definitely, that will be there because you are writing your exam for the first time, or whenever we go to write any exam, there's some element of fear, but we can overcome that element of fear only when we are fully prepared. And how will that happen? That will happen only through constant revision and constant practice. So I think that was from my side for business laws. Over to you, Sudha.
Thank you, Ashley.
Just a sec. Anything about notes and short notes that you want to communicate?
Yeah, sorry, I missed this point. So when you're starting with the course, at that is the time where you also have to make your short notes. And short, when we say short notes, they should be really short. You do not have to write the entire thing in your short notes. Short notes will help you at in the last minute preparation, wherein you can go through the points relevant, and they'll help you in the last minute revision one day before the exam, or rather the day before the exam day, wherein you cannot go through the entire material. So make short notes when you are starting with the course itself. Pause the video, write important points in your own terms with the keywords, and this will also help you remember the keywords. So this was with respect to the short notes.
Thanks, Ashlisha. Hello, everyone. I hope everybody is doing well. But though we can't take too much time, break time, we have to start the preparation. So I'm sure each one of you have started, made the plan. And if not, like Sriram has mentioned, please use the study planner and start the plan today, immediately after this meeting. About the BCR, I think this is the subject which has always been there with you. This is the only subject which has been there and is there now and will be there all your life, whichever career you choose. So you better not leave this subject. But the best part about BCR is that it's a break time subject. You don't have to actually spend full time on preparing for this 40-mark paper. What you can do is in between your subjects, take breaks. When you take a break, read an article, comprehend that, or make a note of that article which you read newspapers, read magazines, learn a new word or make a new sentence yourself. If you had come across some word in one of your subjects which you don't know, please look at the dictionary and try to make a sentence for yourself. And believe me, this is going to help you in a very long way. Don't ever think of any new words. It's a wastage of time. Baad mein dekh lunga. Nahi. You have to know the meaning of the word now. This is the best time for you to start. After 2-3 months, when you are actually going to start mocks, revisions and all, you don't have time to do this. You will not have the liberty and the leisure to look into dictionaries or search. And nowadays, you don't even need to look into those thick book dictionaries. You have it at your fingertips. So please don't hesitate to know the meanings of the words which you come across every day. Now, how do you prepare for this paper is read regularly. That's the only thing which will help you in this paper. Read as much as possible. Set standards of your speed. Start from day one. You might not be good at it, but believe me, 2 months are good enough to come to a level where you can appear this exam and continue forward in your life. So please read regularly. Second, speak in English. That's the worst thing. What we all do is that we are hesitant to start speaking in English. If you start speaking in English, half your issues are resolved with BCR. You will understand it. You will be able to answer the question. You will be able to communicate what you want to the examiner in the best way. So please read and also speak. Now coming to the writing. Now, most of it is not actually like law. You don't have to write big paper or paragraphs or long answers. It's only in articles where you have to write 250 words max, something like that. Prezi, you'll have hardly any 7 or 8 lines to write. So it's not a lengthy paper in that sense. So, but you need to know how much is your speed in writing. So what time you save in BCR, you can actually use that in law, which will give you a big leap in getting those marks, good marks. So you need to practice that every day. How you read, in how many minutes are you able to read or finish an article? In how many minutes are you able to write 200 words or 250 words? So if you do that regular practice, it is quite possible for you to achieve this. Now, whenever you read something, don't just read it for the heck of it. Okay, it is not like novel where you just read and all. But when you get engrossed in a story, you read a novel, you would want to know what is the character about, what is the story about. Please read any article in such a way that you understand what is the author's opinion. And you do that, you will be able to make summaries, where you'll be able to make notes. You will be able to identify what key words are. And that is what is required for you, because it's one of the compulsory questions. If you remember, for the first question in BCR, one is comprehension, one is note making with a summary. So if you are able to do that, when you understand it properly through the author's opinion point of view, only then will you be able to do all this. And also identify those new words, like I said. know the meanings, try to make a sentence with the word which you have learned new. Unless you make your own sentence, you will, believe me, you'll never be able to remember any word. So try to make it in your own sentence and check if you're right or wrong. Check with the person who is with you, somebody who is better in English. If not, there is Google Mata Ki Jai. You can always look for it. And practice regularly, like I said, articles, summary, notes. See in a sentence, in a line, in a page, if in a page, in a line, how many words can you fit in? That is your regular. In a regular speed, when you write, how many words come in? So you always see the number of lines required. Please don't start sitting in the examination center and start counting how many words did I write? Is this enough? Is it more? Is it? You can't do drafts and redrafts and all. So try to get your number of, what is the speed and what is the number of words in a line which you usually write in your handwriting. And first 2 months, take your time to read comfortably, but each time you read, please set a standard of the speed you need to cover. Only then will you challenge yourself, and only when you improve. Otherwise, if you're comfortable with yourself, you'll never be able to achieve that. Now, when you come to the examination part, I'm sure before the exams, we are going to again have such sessions which will help you on how to answer. But just to prepare for the mock tests and all, please read your questions carefully. When you're reading the comprehension, ensure that you pay attention to each word and each sentence in its fullest form. Don't just try to come to a conclusion in the first sentence. Read the whole thing and then you try to understand what it was. Do 2 readings at least for comprehension. That is, first, to get a hold of it, what basically is it about. Second, in respect to the questions which has been asked for the comprehension. Second, during the exam, if you don't know a word, an antonym or a synonym, the options will be really confusing when they ask you. That is the purpose, to confuse you. So if you're not aware that what that synonym or antonym means, please don't waste time of kya tha ye word. Don't do that. Go to the other things where you can actually spend time and score marks. These you can always come back and answer. So if you can follow all this and practice, nothing can beat practice. Only when you practice and practice and practice will you be able to achieve what you're looking for. But believe me, it is quite possible, and it is very easy to crack this subject and also this examination. So as of now, that's it. Over to Sriram.
I think, Pawan, you can give your plan on how students should prepare for maths and stats. I've already mentioned about LR, so please, take it forward.
Yeah. So I think good afternoon to all the students. I think maths is one topic where students are always at the extremes. Either you do very well or you kind of fumble in the subject. That's what I have seen. But I think everything boils down to how you start your preparation. So if you start your preparation with a positive frame of mind, that this is a subject that you're not preparing just for this foundation exam, I want to get rid of this after 5 to 6 months, there is no use of this subject. If you start with that kind of a notion, you'll always struggle, because you are just trying to it in a couple of months and move to the next. That won't work, because as Sriram mentioned in the earlier part of the discussion, some of the concepts that you are going to see in mathematics, like time value of money, those topics are very critical for you when you are preparing for inter and final. You have some very good application of these topics in your core finance subjects. So that way, maths is very, very important. And always remember, the institute has actually given a very good weightage for this subject, though you might feel, what is the use of this for CA students? Because as a professional, you are not expected to only learn subjects like accounts, law, and communication, which was included, which is very important, but also maths, because you need to have that problem solving ability. So problem solving ability is one of the very important skill that every chartered accountant should possess. When you enter corporate world or when you set up your own practice, problem solving is very, very critical. And maths is the best subject to test your problem solving skills. And basically in mathematics, you have two parts. One is your regular maths, that is business maths, and second one is statistics. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with topics in business maths. And maybe a new concept would be your time value of money. Coming to statistics, some of you who would have studied in CBSE would have had basic statistical concepts, but some of the statistical concepts that you are going to learn here like correlation, regression, distributions and all very, very important. So don't at any point of time, if you feel these topics are very new to me, I'm not able to understand, I suggest please be patient, watch the video 2 times, 3 times. You have forums where you can reach out to us, right? But don't give up, because first time you learn slowly mathematics, understand the concept fully, solve a couple of problems and then move on. Never skip any concept and say that I will do this at the end. Okay, at least the preparation phase. Once you understand the concept and solve a couple of problems, it stays with you. Please revisit the concept regularly. And maths is one subject which I keep telling students that don't give a break when you're preparing for mathematics. Okay, every day, irrespective of what is your schedule, always have a time slot for mathematics. Maybe couple of days you have a higher time slot, maybe in couple of days you just give only 1 hour, but ensure that you are always with the preparation. Okay, because once you start solving problems, you automatically become very quick in terms of grasping the concept and solving the problems. With respect to preparation plan, I think Sriram explained it's very important to actually have a plan and stick to it, and same applies for mathematics as well. And one very important thing I wanted to share with you is, at the end of every concept or every chapter that you have finished preparation, see what all the formulae that you can recall and start noting down in a small diary or a small book, and then see what all we have actually prepared for you. If you see that, if you have understood the concepts well, most of the formulae that you will jot down after completing the concept will largely match with what we are sharing with you. So that itself is a validation that you have grasped most of the concepts that are relevant. So once you do this on a regular basis, I think you will do very well, and you can also finish most of the problems within the time, and basically you can improve your score also. And last thing is, in maths you will have problems as well as theory based questions. So I think memory also plays a little role when you're preparing for statistics. So that way you can score very well in mathematics. Over to you, Sheila.
Thanks, Pawan. Thanks a lot. Now, Suraj wants to speak for a few minutes. Suraj will guide you on subject at the start.
Hi, students. A couple of things Sriram mentioned about accounting a lot. One thing is for BCK. Focus should be on understanding. BCK is purely about understanding. Where once you are able to understand the concepts, you will be able to score very good in MCQ. There is very little to by heart, and especially chapter 3, where there are a lot of information: turnover, revenue, Fortune 500 ranking, and all. Maybe you will get 1 or 2 questions, but don't break your head in trying to remember everything. It's virtually impossible for any one of us to remember so many data points. Okay, so if you can remember whatever you can remember, fine. If you cannot, don't give too much of time for a specific ranking and revenue and turnover. Understand about the company, CEO names and all is good to know. And as you read newspaper and all of those things will automatically come to know. Like HDFC Bank will be in news, ICICI Bank will be in news, BPCL will be in news, Amazon will be in news. With that, you will automatically be able to understand and remember things. Specifically with BCK. And coming to accounting, Sriram covered a lot of points. Try to follow that. Make a list of adjustments which you are finding difficult when you are solving any question in the accounting subject, like final account adjustments, consignment related adjustments, non-profit organization related adjustments, BRS related adjustments, rectification of errors related adjustments. Make a list so that before the examination, you go through that list and you are sure how to handle. Because, see, there may be 1 question which is out of the box, but remaining 5 questions will be within your reach. So that's also very, very important for you to either you make a list or highlight wherever you can. Okay.
So thanks, Suraj. So guys, see, the point with respect to smart work is what Suraj is highlighting. The thing is, for all the subjects, you have to make your own notes. So, okay, you please print our notes, please underline them, please buy a highlighter, underline it, use all of that fancy stuff, use post-it notes, please get good quality new books and please write and all of that. But why we are doing all of this is, when you are preparing, you should prepare it properly, thoroughly. Okay, and whatever preparation you have done in thorough manner, you should have a record of it, and you should go through the record every day. So the record is basically your notes, right? And when you keep going through the notes, you will remember what you've studied. That is this is the smart element of the whole preparation. And exactly before the exam, you just flip through the book, everything will come back to you. Okay, that is the reason why we are suggesting you have to take your own notes. There may be a lot of last minute revision notes, all these kind of things will be available in the market. On the last day, you are not supposed to touch any new material. You are supposed to go through your own notes, what you have read. And students, please finish the entire study material in terms of problems and all of that. A lot of questions come from the study material only. For maths and all, probably they will create new questions. But rest of the subjects, everything comes from study material. So do not skip even a single question in the study material. Okay, and make your own notes, and you'll be able to, able to revise it at the end. And one more point I want to add before I hand over session to Aslesha, a couple of questions on law. One point I want to highlight to students is, even though we said that paper 3 and 4 maths as well as BCK economics are your objective questions, we have given MCQs for law as well. The reason is, whenever you finish a chapter or a topic, please go to the MCQs of that particular topic or chapter and test yourself. You will be able to evaluate whether you have understood or not. Okay, that is the purpose for which we have given. Even though in exam even though business law is a subjective paper, we have given MCQs so that you're able to evaluate your understanding and performance. Right, now let me go to Aslesha. I think there's a question there which says, in exam law paper, should we write answers in points or paragraphs? Aslesha, over to you.
Yes, so about this question, like I've mentioned, there are two types of questions which you will get for your law paper. One is direct questions and the other is case study based questions. So for direct questions, it is advisable that you write answer in points. The reason for it is, you'll be able to recollect the provisions when you are writing the answer in points. It is okay if you write the answer in paragraphs, no problem at all. If you're able to frame proper sentences and write them in paragraphs, no problem. But for direct questions, we usually advise that you write answer point wise, because sometimes it may so happen that you have some side headings, or there are some points which you recollect when you are writing the answer point wise. And for case study based questions, like I've mentioned, first write the provision. That will be your first paragraph. Second paragraph would be relating the provision to the situation which has been given in the question, and finally your conclusion. So this is how you'll write. You'll have to write answers, and we have many videos on how to solve answers and also how the answer has to be written. So when you go through the course, you will come across those things as well. So that was with respect to answering.
Yeah, great. So students, now, any of you have more questions, you can please post. I think Ashwin wants to ask something. Please, Ashwin, go ahead, unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yes, sir. Good morning to sir and all the other faculties. So I have this doubt, like when we when I study and when I think I get that completed the course. So how should we acknowledge that we have made a enough amount of revision and enough amount of study based on that material? So what percentage of marks in your individual and MCQ should we get to make sure we have made our first revision correctly?
First revision, so first preparation, I would say you should be at 70%, 75%. By the time, this is when I say first preparation, I mean the study period. So till Feb 14th. After you finish Feb 14th, you should, after the first revision, because what happens is, why I'm saying that 70-75% is, you're studying all the subjects, probably, some subject is ahead, some subject you study later and all of that, but then you're not studying all of them together, right? Some of you may do. My suggestion is study at the most 2 to 3 subjects. Don't study all the 4 together. Okay. By the time you finish your first study period in February 14th, some subjects you may have done earlier, you may vaguely remember and all of that. So, which is why I'm saying 70-75%. But after you finish that and you finish your first revision, you should be at 80-90%. And by the time you finish your second revision, you should be at 90-95%. Okay, that is how I would suggest you evaluate your performance. The next question is how to prepare for case study based questions. I think the faculty just answered, right? How to present. Okay, he's saying how to prepare for case study based questions. Aslisha.
Yeah. So see, there's no certain rule of preparing for certain types of questions. Like I've already mentioned, that as in when your concepts get cleared, as in when you study, as in when you practice things, you will automatically get the answer to things. And for case study based questions, what it actually means, case study is basically, say, a situation given to you, and on the basis of that situation you have to answer the question. So for those situations, to understand those situations, you'll first have to understand the provisions, and once you're clear with the provision, as soon as a situation comes forth and comes in front of you, you'll be able to relate the situation to a particular provision. So all this will happen only when you're conceptually clear, and with practice you'll be able to answer case study based questions as well.
Great. So who's up next? Guys, more questions, please. This is a session for you on how to prepare and how you guys need to present an exam. All of that you can please feel free to ask questions, because all faculty are present here. Sir, can we change questions in law like first 3Q and 6Q like this? Yes. So in any subject you can do this. You can answer in order, but please ensure that you guys don't do one part of 3A in one page, another part of 3A in another page. No, don't do that. If you're doing 3A in one page, please finish it. And guys, this is one more thing. You guys have all paid exam fees. Okay, so with respect to your subjective papers, please feel free to take as many papers as you want. Okay, and start every new question in a new page. So let us say 3A, one page, 3B, another page, 3C, another page. Of course, if it is big, if it is very, very small, it's a one-line thing, probably then you can combine. Okay, otherwise, please be as generous as you want in terms of taking exam papers and write them properly. Because when an evaluator checks your paper, the evaluator should know very clearly which is where. If it is mixed up in so many things, you're writing 3A here, after that 4B, after that 3C, everything in one single page, it will actually get very, very complicated for them to evaluate. And there's a chance that they may miss evaluating certain things, which will unnecessarily cause heartburn to you, heartburn to them, and all of that stuff. Okay, next question is,
and also just to add, all the like 3A, 3B, 3C, 3D, you have to do in a sequence.
Yes.
All together. Okay.
Okay. So 3A, 3B, 3C, you can do together, but you can first solve 3, then you can go to 4, then you can come back to 1. You can do things like that. Correct, Suraj? Okay. Yes. Then next question is, in which all subjects should +2 science students should concentrate? Good question. I think other than mathematics, accounting is one subject where commerce students already know, which you might be not aware of. So I think accounting is something that you have to start afresh. Mathematics, if you've already taken maths in your class 11, 12, I don't think maths will be much of a challenge. Then economics, again, you'll be doing it for the first time, so you'll have to put more effort, economics and BCK. Then business law and BCR I think should not be much of an issue if you're if you're good in English, but business law you have to study. So basically, other than maths and stats, I think you have to concentrate on every subject. A lot of students are afraid of accounting per se. So I would tend to put more weight on that, because as a science student, you're not aware of much of accounting. The formats, the rules, the guidelines and all of that. People do tend to generally get slightly overwhelmed or slightly scared. So I think I would say accounting, but other than that, you need to concentrate on law as well as business economics and BCK. Simple reason is, guys, unlike your class 12 or class 11 or any other exams, here you have to pass in all 4 and get average of 50 in each of them, or average of 50 overall. Okay, so you have to get minimum 200 marks with every, so 4 subjects, right? Each subject is 100 papers, 100 marks. So each subject you have to get 40 minimum, average all of them put together is 50. only then you're considered as pass. And in foundation level, there is no concept of exemption or anything. If you fail, let us say in one subject, you have to write all the 4 of them again. Okay, which is why you have to concentrate on all of them. Now, the next question that is there is, sir, would there be options for subjective papers? So, Aslesha, do we get options in business law and BCR?
There's option of one question in both business law and BCR, one additional question which you have. So question number 1 is compulsory, but out of the remaining questions, you have option of one question in both business law and BCR.
And same is the case with the accounting as well. Then other person who's asking me is, which are the subjects one can complete in 1 month and make practice for score of 90% and above? I don't know who's this. This is someone called Nandita. So Nandita, I'm not really sure if there is a subject which you can finish in 1 month, because all the subjects are probably 60, 70 or 80 hours minimum. Probably you can try some portions of mathematics alone or statistics alone or LR alone or economics alone, but full 100 marks paper in 1 month, I doubt. I mean, we would strongly suggest that you study at least 2 subjects a month continuously. Don't stick yourself to one subject, because in exam, all your exams are continuous and you need to remember all the stuff with respect to all the subjects. Right. Then we have next question is, mostly get hard in most of the medium questions, right? And I get mistakes in easy questions. Guide us how to overcome that and avoid careless mistakes. Very good question. So this is a problem that will stick with you for most of the, a lot of students have this problem, and the way to basically ensure that you don't make this mistake is by paying attention to detail. So a lot of you, and in fact, I also at some point had this problem of, I want to do everything very, very fast. Okay, I just want to solve it and get over it, right? So the only way to actually handle that is have patience, and check everything 2 times, 3 times, write somewhere saying that first check done, yes or no, second check done, yes or no. So unless you make it a habit that you are paying attention to detail, this will not happen. So attention to detail and carefulness will come only, with practice, or if you are hit very hard, okay, in life by making one small silly mistake. Okay, so don't go with that option of making a silly mistake and getting hit in life. The easier one is to learn to be careful. And how will you learn to be careful? By practicing it, by forcing yourself to check everything, answer everything slowly, answer everything peacefully. After finishing everything, take some time and be cautious. Especially when you start subjective papers, paper 1 and 2, please use the 15 minutes time to read everything carefully and slowly. Do not be in the mode in 15 minutes itself I will solve the entire paper. No, SNE, it doesn't happen like that in life. Okay, as you scale, you will realize in inter and final, things will be even more complex. And by the time you land in jobs, right, one small mistake can cause, errors in terms of lakhs or crores or whatever. So at that point of time, when you make a mistake, you will really learn when your boss shouts. Okay, don't let it come to that stage. When you are in the exam, when you are in the studying phase itself, please, get this patience. Okay, you will definitely be able to build it over a period of time. Then,
and just to add to that, Sriram, most of the times what they do is they're completing one question, and before they actually stop thinking about that question, they jump to the second question. That's when we do that mistake. So though we need to be multitaskers, we should not be clubbing 2 things at a time and start answering both at the same time.
Yes, exactly. Right. Exactly. Right. The other thing is, somebody had raised a hand, I think Realme or someone, and the name is Realme. You can please go ahead and ask. Unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, please go ahead, Balchan.
Sir, I have a doubt in that law part. It's a, let's say, question number 3 contains a subpart, 4 subparts, like A, B, C, D. If I know the A, B, and D, C, I don't know. Should I leave some space for that answer sheet?
Yes. Leave it, and if at a later point of time, if you are not attempting that question, just strike the paper off.
Sir, come again, sir.
Leave a space, and if later point in time, if you don't want to answer that, just strike that page off.
Yes, strike the page off. Cross it like this. Okay.
I want to give any estimate, like I want to strike out any written something words?
Nothing. Just strike blank, one line across, diagonal line. That's all. Left to right or right to left, bottom to top.
Thank you for all of them, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, no problem. Somebody else, Realme also had a question. Please go ahead, Realme.
Sir, in various practical questions, practical subjects such as accounts and maths, sir, it is very difficult to manage time. So what should we do to manage time means?
Excellent question. That is why you should study one practical and one theory together. Every day you should study 2 subjects. Morning, if you're a morning person, wake up in the morning and start with practical work for a couple of hours, and then study theory after that, and then again go back to practical. You can choose your time slots, doesn't matter. Same way, if you're a night person, do some practical work, do some theory work. That way you will be progressing on all the subjects. Don't stick with I'll finish one subject first and then I'll go to the next subject. That is a very, very tough method to proceed, because believe me, at CA Inter and CA final level, you'll have 8 subjects each, and half of them are practical, half of them are theory. And if you say I'll finish all practical first and I'll go to theory, at final probably you'll have 3 years to prepare. For Inter, you won't have so much time. Okay, so you have to prepare parallel only. I know it is tough. Unfortunately, life is tough. We have to do both together only. There is no other way. You have to, which is why start early, spend more time. If you start 4 months late and then say, no, I don't have time, that doesn't work. We have 7 months now. So every day spend 1.5 hours on accounts and then do some theory. And after a week or so, do some hours of maths and some amount of theory, or continue accounts and one theory subject, finish that, and then go to another practical. You do a mix and match of things, but please ensure you study at least 2 subjects a day.
One more thing to add about accounting with, I'm sure Suraj would also agree, like we have shown in our videos, when there are multiple adjustments, you draw all the accounts in 2 sheets and try to pass this adjustment in both the places at the same time. One, you would also save time instead of coming back and drawing a new account. And 2, you will not miss out on the adjustments dual effect.
Okay. Yes. I think next question somebody is asked is, what is the easiest way to get 90% above in all subjects? Get conceptual clarity and practice. Write 3 marks, 4 marks, especially ICAI releases, mock test papers before the exam. They give out, even the revision test papers before the exam. Please go through all of them. We give our marks. Please go through that. Solve at least 2 or 3 past exam papers in examination conditions. That is the only way in which you can ensure you get more than 90% in all subjects. Okay, then what else? Difficult to manage time. So this question, really, what you had asked me about managing time with respect to preparation, right? You're not asked this with respect to examination inability to manage time. Am I right? Realme, you can unmute and answer. Okay, I don't know if it's there or not. Okay, Ashwin, you can unmute and ask your question, please.
I had doubt on accounts, sir. So in school days and all, we have like there are different formats of writing date and such things, like we can write it as month May 1, or we can write it as 1/5/2020. There's a lot of way we can write that. So in my school days, when they say a format and we don't follow that, they used to reduce marks. So in CA, what should we do?
I don't think there is
anything is fine. Yeah, there's nothing to be worried. They'll not even look. When I used to correct papers, I hardly looked at the dates also.
Yeah, so in CA you will learn a concept called substance over form, which is, it is very important to understand the essence of what is being told rather than just by looking at the legal form. That is important. I'm not saying that is important everywhere. Form is also important at a lot of places, but for very, very minor things like this, right? Date, the substance is more important than form. Okay. Form means the way you present it. Substance means the content of it. Okay, content is more important than form. But same way, please note, narration is a form as well as substance. So most of you guys, when you are writing narration for CA, for your accounting journal entries, you have to necessarily write the proper narration. Being, you have to use the words, you have to put brackets, you have to write it below. If you don't write narration, marks are deleted, marks are reduced. Okay, there both substance and form are important. Now somebody's asked how to manage preparation with boards, as we have boards in November, December, and then March and April. Welcome to the club. That is what CA teaches you. You have to manage time. So you have to necessarily prepare in advance so that you are able to manage both your boards as well as CA examinations, which is why we are saying start now. Start with 3 hours, 4 hours now, so that in between you have these festival days, you have Sundays, you have birthdays, you have these examinations from board. All of that will be there. See, if you, one thing I want to highlight to you is some amount of preparation for CA and your class 12s may be common if you are a commerce student, right? Some accounting or some parts of business studies, or some part of your mathematics and economics and all that. So those topics I don't think you'll have any problem, but otherwise you will have to manage both of them, and this is going to get more and more apparent as you move to CA Inter, when you'll have to do it along with your BCom, or CA final, when you have to have articleship for 3 years and parallelly study an articleship. Believe me, if you join any large firm, you will have to necessarily work from morning 9 to a lot of them make them work till midnight also. Okay, along with that you have to go to classes and figure out. So this is going to necessarily not you're never going to get rid of this. This is going to continue forever. Now a couple of more points that I want to highlight. We have all the past exam papers, all the revision test papers, all the mock papers available for free on our website and app. So there is a section called free resources. Go to that section, download, you can access most of the stuff. I'm not sure if all of you know about forums on our app and website. It is a place where you can ask questions and we answer. You please raise any question there. We have subject matter experts who will answer quickly. Right. Then there are a couple of more questions. Are there any free classes available on your website? Yes, we have free demos that are available on our website. For each subject, we have a few hours of content which is free. It is primarily for you to get an idea of how we teach. After that, you can take a decision on which subject you wish to buy or not. Next question is there any negative marks for a question when I go blank and go for another question? When I put a blank, does it carry negative mark? No, when you leave an answer, there's no negative mark. When you give a wrong answer in MCQ based questions, only then there is negative mark. That is your math, stats, BCK and economics. When you answer incorrectly, you have 1/4 negative mark. Otherwise, if you don't answer, there is no mark or no negative mark also. Same way, even in subjective papers, there is no negative mark. Then, sir, having class for 5 years, sir, how many hours I have to? Having class for 5 years. I don't know what you mean. What I understand is you're having classes for your class 11, 12 for 5 hours. How to manage time? You have to manage time. That's all. Wake up early in the morning, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, or study late in the night till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. You have to manage. Then, is there negative marks when I go blank that I answered? Sir, having classes 1 to 6 on which time I have to study for CA? It is up to you. It is up to you. Minimum 3 hours is what you have to start with. 4 to 5 hours, you have to, as you peak, you have to go to 4 to 5 hours. That is when it will go up. And by the time you're, in revisions and all, 8 to 9 hours is probably required. But start with 3 hours. Believe me, it is possible. Okay. And slowly the 3 hours, make it 5 hours and 6 hours, and you'll be able to finish. Okay, I think we have covered all the questions that are there, and also we are through with the time that we have set for ourselves. So I think we can actually conclude the meeting, unless of course anyone has any question or anything that we missed out, anyone wants to highlight. Nothing from anyone. So I think we're good to go. So students, feel free to ping us on forums, or reach out to us by on our support mail ID, or any which way. We are happy that you guys have actually come up and asked questions. We are available always. Please ping. We'll be more than happy to guide you. We want you guys to succeed, so that you can take the next leap, go to Inter and move to final, and so on and so forth. And a special thanks to all the faculty who have made time to come here and answer all the questions. Thanks to a couple of people from my team, Saibdeep and others, who actually helped out. and they're all there available to you for answering questions. A couple of faculty could not make it. Probably we'll have some more sessions in the coming days when they'll be available and they'll be able to answer your questions. But please note, any question that you ask in forums, we have right people, qualified professionals answering. So please don't think that there's nobody responding, or the response is not correct, or not satisfied. If you're not satisfied, please ask again. Okay, so with that, we'll conclude this session, and all the very best. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks. Bye.